Hello, welcome to this session on soft skills. I'm Dr. Bhargavi and I'm an associate professor in the Department of Management Studies in Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research. So, welcome to this session. And in the last class, we saw about different aspects of soft skills. We saw about who am I, knowing yourself, and the importance of knowing yourself is what we saw in the last slide. We concluded with this slide that importance of knowing yourself is very vital in inculcating soft skills. So in the next slide we are going to see about the process of knowing yourself. What are the steps involved in understanding yourself, in the self realization, what all you need to do. The first thing is write your own personal diary. How many of you have this habit of writing your own personal diary? How many of you have the habit of writing today? That is enormously going to impact the way you inculcate your soft skills. So the articulation of words will come when you start writing very nicely. So that is one peculiar aspect which will make you realize what are your flaws when you are willing to inculcate these soft skills in you. Then practice meditation. What do you mean by practicing meditation? What do you mean by meditation? You are going to focus your thoughts on one single point. So a center point is where you're going to focus your thoughts, and that is the practice of meditation. So start meditating, start focusing on one particular thing and start working towards it. So once you start meditating, you'll be able to get a lot of concentration and focus on how to achieve your goal. Then go for a walk regularly, exercise regularly, do some riding. These may be your hobbies, but when you pursue these hobbies and when you give time for yourself, you will be able to know yourself. So it is proved time and again that exercise is going to help a person be fit physically and mentally. So exercise is a kind of meditation, it is a kind of workout, so it is going to help you in different ways. So if you are a person who is going to face hard times at work now, then exercise can be one of the best options to slow you down and to make you feel relaxed. So if you go for evening walks or if you go for morning walks, then walking can also improve your state of mind, or doing some driving, going for long drives, going for outings will obviously make you feel relaxed, and it will give you time and space to analyze yourself. It will make you understand who you are, what do you want. So develop some hobbies, make sure you follow your passion and your hobbies so that you are able to know more about yourself, so you are able to have a self analysis of what you like and what you dislike. So these are some of the steps that can help you to understand yourself. So, coming to the next slide, we have SWOT analysis. What do you mean by SWOT analysis? SWOT analysis is going to stand for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So, what is SWOT analysis, or what are the benefits of SWOT analysis? It is a framework for you analyze your strengths and weaknesses. So it is going to help you to focus on your strengths, minimize your weaknesses, take the greatest possible advantage of the opportunities, and eliminate the threats. So a SWOT analysis is going to be particularly powerful when it is going to help you to uncover opportunities that you can take advantage of. So by understanding your weaknesses, you will be able to manage and eliminate those threats that would otherwise put you through difficulties. So the benefits of SWOT analysis can be these 3 points. It is very simple, it is less expensive, and it is inclusive. So how is a SWOT analysis? Very simple. It is very simple to the participants who undertake it. They can grasp the contents very easily, and they go through the process very easily. So they almost enjoy the process of identifying themselves, and it can be practiced either at an individual's level or at an organization's level. Now, the second point, the benefit of SWOT analysis is that it is less expensive. So how is it less expensive? It is enough if you have a sheet of paper and pen with you to write down what are your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So a SWOT analysis can be done internally, and it can be provided to someone who knows best about you, and someone who can give feedback on what you have written. Now, the third point is that it is inclusive. It allows participation of team members. So in addition, since it utilizes the whole team, the results are going to be amazing. The results are more likely to represent the real environments which is surrounded in you. So it is, you can include people in this. Once you write down your traits, once you finish completing the SWOT quadrants, then you can ask someone, your father or your mother, you to evaluate it and to go through it and identify the gaps. So these are the benefits of SWOT analysis. So no one can give you a better advice than yourself. So this analysis is going to help you to uncover the opportunities that you can take care of. So coming to the next slide, what is this slide talking about? It is talking about the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So how do you use a SWOT analysis? When using a SWOT analysis, be realistic about what your strengths are. Be true about your weaknesses. Distinguish between where you are today and where you want to be in the future. So this, always remember that by avoiding the gray areas and analyzing the relationships between the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, your analysis will be effective. Your SWOT will be very effective in self realization. So what are the four grids here? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You would have heard about a Chinese proverb, knowing others is intelligence, and knowing yourself is wisdom. So this Chinese proverb is the best suitable proverb for this SWOT analysis. Strengths, in the strengths area, what are the things that you have to write? What do you do well, or what is one particular area in which you shine, or what are those unique resources that you can draw on, or what do you think others see that your strengths are? So any professional qualifications you have, or certifications you have, or anything that makes you stand out from the rest, your expertise in some area, or your any successful responsibilities which you have undertaken, all these will come under these strengths. Now coming to weaknesses, if you see, what can be individual weaknesses, anything that can be improved. So in any aspect which you want to improve yourself, or whether do you have a fewer resources than others, or what are the weaknesses which others are likely to perceive in you, all these can be stated under weaknesses. So whether you have the necessary skills to be successful in future, or do you have any bad habits which you want to get rid of, or if you have a proper time management in your inner sense, so all these can come under weaknesses. Then the third quadrant is going to talk about opportunities. So what are opportunities? What good opportunities are open to you, or what opportunities can you take advantage of, or how can you turn your strengths into opportunities? All these will be stated in the third quadrant. So is there any significant change that you want to take advantage of, or is there any new technology in the industry that you want to make use of, or is there any new position that you want to acquire? All these are going to be your opportunities. So strengths and weaknesses will be related to personal behavior, whereas opportunities and threats will be related to jobs. The career orientedness can be seen in opportunities and threats. So under threats, the last quadrant of SWOT is going to talk about what things can harm you, what are the things that are very competitive in nature which is disturbing you. So is one of your peers doing a better job than you, and is he gaining more significance than you, or both of you fighting for some promotion that is going to come up in the company, or is there any personal traits that you have that is going to hurt your career advancements? So all these can be some of the threats that you can write down in this quadrant. So internal things that is going to happen within the employee will be seen in strengths and weaknesses, whereas the external environment influences can be seen in opportunities and threats. So with this, the four quadrants of SWOT analysis has been explained, and we move on to the next slide. What are attributes, or what is impression management? So this is a slide which we are going to see now. Before we even start with the presentation in the slide, the people who win are those people who think they can win. So that is the difference which winners have. So they think they can win, they take their efforts, they toil hard, and they come to achieve success. So what are impressions? What do you see here? It is written that first impression is the best impression. So what do you mean by first impression? First impression is going to refer to the effect one has on others due to the impact of their personality. So within the very first 40 seconds of the first meeting, these impressions are formed in the opponent's mind. So this process can happen in every new situation. I may face a problematic situation and I may behave in a very rude manner. So the opponent may think me to be a very rude person, a very harsh person. Whereas if you see in a situation where there's going to be a team outing, or there's going to be a get together, I may be very happy. I may be a very extrovert person. So that particular time, the same opponent who thought me to be harsh can think me to be very outgoing, very jovial. So attributes or impressions are formed in different occasions, and they can get changed over a period of time. Now, if you see this first impression as it occurs in every new situation, this the very few moments people have with you, they start judging you. So this judgment may be fair or unfair, but however we don't have any control on the judgments which people make about us. So you can never know exactly what others think about you, or others decide about you, or others describe about you. So you can draw inferences about the impression which you made with others based on what you think you are. So that is a key for forming impressions. So first analyze yourself, first understand yourself, so that you will be able to gain an understanding of what others think about you, how impressions are formed on you in others' perspective can be easily understood. Now, first impression is an overall projection of a personality which is going to consist of different things. So the points are given here on the slide. So it can contain the way in which you are going to conduct yourself in different situations, or the way you dress yourself, the clothing aspects, or the self-expression aspects. I may express myself to a very huge extent with some people, or I may be very closed and introvert to other people. So the expression of self, the mannerism I have, the habits I have, the behavior I exhibit in a public place, the communication skills which I possess, the interpersonal relationships which I have, all these are going to form your first impression. So these are the concepts that are going to make others judge about you. Coming to the next slide, we have what are the ways to make first impression. So what are the ways in which impressions are formed? If you see, the first thing, it is going to be a positive body language. So body language is perhaps the first thing people will see when they form their impressions about you. So your dress, your voice, your gesture, your courtesy, your etiquettes, your listening skills, your posture, your grooming, your hygiene, your eye contact, everything will talk about your body language. So these all are going to form a package that can either prove you to be a wonderful person or a deadly person. So this positive body language is the first and important aspect that is going to go towards making people to accept you. Then the second way is a bright smile and a handshake. So what do? When you meet a person, you greet them and you say a hi. So how do you say a hi? You say by giving your hands. So a positive handshake, a confident handshake will make you shine. That will create a positive impression about you. So as a saying goes, smile and the world smiles with you. So as a part of your body language, a warm and confident smile will put both you and the other person at ease. So it will make you look friendly and very approachable. So keeping in mind the cultural differences or the moral values which are present inside you, stop making contradictory beliefs and start making good impression on others. So the handshake which you make with others should be very confident. And remember, handshake is a very internationally accepted form of greeting each other. So shake hands for 2 or 3 seconds very firmly, and never shake your hands in a wet manner. Make sure your hands are clean and dry and then shake it to the other person. That will inculcate a positive spirit among both of you. So the third way to make the first impression is to be yourself. So if you're trying to behave like someone else or put on a mask on your face and trying to behave like someone else, it will soon become very clear that you are trying to act and fool others. So people are very smart and your artificiality will soon be exposed. So explore your personality and play your strengths, so that will make you be genuine, and people will start liking your company the more you are true to them and true to yourself. So remember the four C's when you interact with yourself and when you interact with others. The four C's are: C for calmness, C for cool, C for comfort, and C for confident. So this will make others feel very light and they will become comfortable with you. Now, the next way to create the first impression is blending in. How do you blend in? Make the effort to fit into your environment. So while it is good to be different and when it is good to stand out, still it is not always appropriate to be the odd person out in a group. So dress professionally in a workplace setting and be casual and take appropriate behavior with you when you mingle with people, and do a little research before you actually set out for the occasion. So this will make you feel confident and it will make you appear relaxed and composed. So, show your individuality in your own time and space. This will not adversely affect your relationship with others, and it will try to make you blend in with people. So, if you see one example of blending in, there was an example which was given in one of the books I read. So Rocky, this guy was a part-time musician and he was looking to build full-time career in advertising. So he gets his first break in the ad agency in Mumbai, and soon he rises up the ladder in his company. Now, after 6 years, his company is acquired by a Korean company, and the Korean company is known for its traditional values, which they keep maintaining from a long period of time. So, his office gets shifted to the Korean company's working hours and the Delhi headquarters. So Rocky soon finds himself in the company of others dressed in formal attires, and he feels totally out of the place where he gets barely noticed by anyone as he wears a toned jeans and a colored hair with pulled up shirts. So others laugh at him and they try to talk behind his back. So in this manner, he doesn't find any recognition at work, and he feels that his colleagues and superiors don't take him seriously. He refuses to change. He doesn't want to change his attitude or his dressing, the way he expresses himself. So soon he's forced to leave his job and look for another job in the market. So in today's scenario, if you see, it is not easy to find a job during recession or during this pandemic. So he feels he should have tried to fit better in the earlier company, and he takes a resolution that at least in the forthcoming company he will look into this issue seriously. So that is one example that I studied in the books, which talked about blending in. When you are trying to blend in, you please make sure what others feel, what are their experiences, try to relate yourself to these experiences and learn. That is the best way to create impressions. Then the next point is about punctuality. How do you think punctuality plays a role? See, your time management is about your task, your methods of managing time. So being on time is going to show respect and seriousness for the job which you undertake. So the same standards of good punctuality have to be exhibited on the job and outside the job as well. So you should be known for your adherence to time schedules and being punctual. Once this happens, you will start getting recognized for your punctuality at work. So whether it is a job interview or it is a work or a social occasion or a personal appointment, make sure you do your research about the location. Make sure you do some advanced search about the weather conditions, the traffic conditions, and in today's age of Google Maps and many other navigation facilities available, there is no excuse for being late. So remember, if others can reach on time, then you can also be punctual. So inculcate punctuality in yourself. The next point is talk to convince. What do you mean by this? Speaking with strangers or meeting people for the first time, especially public speaking, makes most people very nervous. So this is perfectly normal. Yes, it is human tendency to be nervous, but stranger anxiety, that itself shows in your nerves. It makes you tremble, it makes you have panic attacks, it makes you sweat, it makes you get a weak voice, it makes your heart go fast. So these all are going to happen if you are going to be anxious at work. So this will make you look unsure or less confident, hesitate, and this is going to ruin your first impression. So practice speaking in front of a mirror or take public speaking classes in order to gain confidence over yourself. So learn the art of smart talk and small talk. So smart talk is where you are going to behave yourself in a very smart manner, and small talk is where you're going to talk less and listen more. So these are some tips for you to break the ice and get along better with others. So talk to convince others. Then the last point is positive mental attitude. How do you think this can be created or this can be developed? A positive attitude shows your face, shows your body language. It is going to display your actions. So life is going to become more happy and more good when when you are going to have a positive attitude both at work and in your personal life. So remember, bad times is never going to last. So all that is going to happen for a while. So good people do remember this thing. And whenever you feel down or low, reach out to someone you can talk to and take help of them so that you develop optimism inside you. So these are some of the ways that can make you give the first best impression. So when you have a positive attitude, then that defines the height which you are going to reach. So let me give you an example. There are two salespersons and they are given targets of going to an island and selling a product. Now two men, they hold a briefcase and they are standing and looking at the island in the distance. Now one person, he says that I'm sad, no one is wearing shoes there, and I think I won't go there. I don't want to go there. I'm not going to achieve my sales target if I'm going to go there and make sales. Whereas the other person who has a positive mindset, he says, in a smiling manner, he says that no one wears shoes there. And I think that will be a good business opportunity for me to promote shoes and make them buy it. So that is the power of optimism. So when you're trying to be positive, things will happen in a positive manner. So make your first impression as a best impression through these methods. The next slide we will see is about self-image and first impression. So the first impression is going to be a function of self-image. So self-image is what you perceive about yourself, and this is going to largely influence how the world perceives you. So if I'm going to think that I am a very meek person, I don't like doing things, I am a very shy person, then obviously I will display those kind of attributes to others, and others will also start judging me that I am a very shy person. I don't like to mingle with people. So the expressions which you exhibit and whatever you are going to showcase to others, the same is going to be perceived by them. So self image is going to make you to speak about yourself in front of others. So if you perceive yourself to be high and if you perceive yourself to be outstanding, then no one else can change that aspect of yours. So they will also start viewing you as that which you think about you. So self-image is how you view yourself and how you understand your self-worth and your abilities. So being well dressed or well mannered, well groomed, these all will have no effect unless a person is going to have high self-esteem. So recently in the area of research, this self-esteem or high self-esteem has been called as narcissism. So they say that the generation Ys and generation Zs, they are very narcissistic in nature, they are very self-centered in nature. But if you see in today's workplace scenario, yes, people like being self-centered, people like being narcissistic. So The positive image of yourself is going to put the wind in your sails. So it is going to make people get attracted to you, and you will form great teams, great bonds with people when you create an image that can speak for yourself. So self image, self esteem, and first impression are closely related. They are correlated, and self image is going to be the way in which we see ourselves, and self esteem is going to be the way we feel about ourselves, and self confidence is going to be the belief which we have on ourselves, about our capabilities, about our knowledge, about our skills which we can do and shine. So with this, we come to the end of the session, and I hope you enjoyed this session for half an hour, and I hope you will stay connected with me throughout all the sessions. Hoping to meet you soon in the next class. Stay safe, stay connected, stay online. So let us meet in the next session. Stay blessed. Take care. Bye bye.